Hello there, my YouTube friends. As you can see, we have got another couple of deliveries here, and neither of them are hot toys. Neither are hot toys. There you go, and that's just a bit of a strange one for you, isn't it? Yeah? Couple of action figures, neither one hot toys. It's unusual for me not to buy hot toys, but what we have is two action figures here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly sort of open them up, take them out of the box and see how well they've been sort of put in there and what they're using to sort of keep them safe, and then we'll go from there, guys. And as you can see here, nice, pick them out with sort of a really thick Air Plus bubble wrap stuff, and there it is, guys. That's what we've got. Optimus Prime from the Transformers BumbleBee movie, the DLX scale collectible figure. So it's a deluxe version, and I've got it to go with this guy because I absolutely love that guy. ThreeZero, whichever they're calling themselves these days. So we've got this one off of a great guy, Scott Cox. He's on one of the Facebook groups. I also sort of chat with him on a regular basis now. So he came up with, offered us this thing for a really good price compared to what I've been seeing him on the bloody eBay and that. I mean, he gets for stupid money on eBay. Lee offered us on a really reasonable price, and I was well and truly happy. Snapped his fingers off for it, and it arrived within just a few days. So we've got that one today. So that looks cool, and it was well wrapped. Always buy with confidence from Lee. I can tell you that for now, guys. If you're ever putting anything up for sale, you'll get it at a reasonable price, and you can always buy with confidence with this guy. He's really good. This one was an eBay purchase. You can see it's got paper wrapped around it, bubble wrap wrapped around the character itself. And as you can see, you might think to yourself, well, that is a Hot Toys thingy. No, this is a sideshow piece. And I know, guys, I don't normally do sideshow pieces because they're just not the same quality as Hot Toys, not even by a long shot. But I like the look of this guy. There was two of them up there. There was a one with a blue uniform. I don't know what the thingies are of it, which I was after, and I just missed out on that one. And then there was this guy which I got, so that's well cool. And I got this one again. This one was another one, but under 200 quid. So I was well happy to get that. Yeah, it's come from France, packaged well enough. So there you go, guys. That's what I've got. But the sideshow piece, and we have this 3A or 3-0, whichever they're going by, Optimus Prime piece. Now it's a case of which one do we unbox first. I think it'll probably be this one here, the Optimus Prime, just because obviously, you know, Lee was kind enough to get it shipped out straight away and get it to us for a really good price. So I think we'll do him the honours and we'll get this one opened up and have a look at it. And guys, here we'll have the box itself. Box to me ain't nothing special. It's not one of those ones that if I was to display boxes that I would think myself, yeah, that's a great box. I'm not keen on that box. Mainly for the fact is, like, what I remember of Optimus Prime is he's quite a colourful character with blues and reds and shit like that in there, whereas that makes it look almost just monotonously just like a red colour. It just doesn't work for me. But the box is the box. I don't really worry about boxes so much because I don't have them on display. They'll just go up in the loft out of the way until such a time as when I might need it for any reason, then I would get it out. I do have a lot of figures in my collection that don't even have the boxes. I literally got them as just the character alone because I was after the character, and it was the only way I could get it cheap enough. I think me Techno Arnie was one of the such character. I think I've got one of me Logan's was like that. Me Nightmare Batman, I think, was like that. One of me Captain America's, a couple of me Captain Americas, I think, came like that. I don't know if it was my dark side or my light side Anakin was a cobbled together piece, so again it didn't have a box, you know. So I've got quite a number of the characters, even me Joker. I've got me Joker there. He didn't, in fact both me Jokers didn't come with a box, you know. I got them as they were. That's the only way of getting them cheap enough, you know. So not all my characters came with boxes. You know, as long as I can get the character at a reasonable price, it looks good, it's in good shape, it's packed well. That's all I'm interested in, because all I show off is the actual characters. I don't show off the boxes. So here's the box, guys, for those that are interested in what the boxes look like. Back, and this one is basically saying that it's by ThreeZero, because I know that they sort of sometimes go by 3A or ThreeZero. So this one has got it on, and where's the top of it? It does have a flip open cover to show the inside, you know, which I'll probably have to put my light on in a minute to get some more light in this thing, because the man cave's very dark, but you can see there it's red and blue. Well, you might be able to see there, you can't really see it that well, but it's red and blue. Okay, so we'll get the character out, show you what it comes with, guys. Show you what it comes with. And here are the accessories you get. It's not a lot, guys, not a lot at all, but I think the character itself probably more than makes up for the lack of actual stuff that you can use with it. You get the instructions to show you where some of the movable parts are and what you might have to move out the way in order to get the other bits moving. So that's pretty cool, because there is a lot of moving parts on this thing. I do believe if it's anything like the Bumblebee was unbelievable for the amount of movable parts in there. You got the base, and guys, I wasn't even going to get this base out at first, but I thought, no, it's part and parcel of the review that I do, so we'll get it out and have a look at it. Has Bumblebee on there, because that's what the movie was from. The base itself is okay, it's a nice enough looking thing. I know I won't use it, you know. I mean, it's a light thingy plastic, it's big enough, but I don't know, I still wonder whether they're still strong enough to be able to hold it in a good flight style pose. I guess it probably is. They probably would have done some testing beforehand, and it does have sort of these hexagonal things on there to give it a bit more smoothness, but it's a flimsy sort of plastic, you know. It's not sort of dead sturdy, dead strong. It's thingy, but it is what it is, you know. It's nice enough looking, but it's not something I use. And the guy can stand up, he's got big enough feet to stand up on his own. And you've got this thing as a dynamic stand, you know. The base pivots a little bit, that thing moves around a little bit, you know, movement on there. It will sort of slide up and down, slides up and down to give you some movement there, and this bit also goes up and down in order to get a different thingy. So there you go. That's that. I won't be using it. I don't think I would even use it for photography, to be perfectly honest with you, because I don't tend to put them in that sort of dynamic flying style pose so much. But what you do get is this thing. I mean, that is beautiful, you know, oil stained, grimy, you know. It's just really nice details to it, though just being one colour all told, nothing else to it in that respect of, like, not much in the way of colour tones, bar the fact that obviously it looks like it's sort of greasy and grimy. Makes it a little bit disappointing in that respect, but it's still a bloody beautiful big piece, light as a feather. You know, it's only plastic, which is good, because the last thing you would need is that thing being metal, because that would weigh a friggin' ton. You have the hands again, and again it's sort of nicely detailed. The blues, you've got sort of silver paintwork coming through on it where it's been sort of scuffed and thingied. You have a couple of gun toting hands. Yeah, so you've got a couple of gun toting ones. and two lots of sort of different style of open palm ones. Yeah, see the levels of details to them, and I'll tell you it's really good. The only thing that I think could have made these sort of slightly better would have been like what Hot Toys would probably have done with at least one set of hands, which would have been to make it so that you could have joints in there to move them. You know, so you could have made your own style hand up with at least freaking one set of them. You know, but there's no movement in these whatsoever. You know, they're sort of the thingy plastic, and that's it. So that would have made it sort of slightly better if they had at least one set of them where you had a bit of maneuverability in the fingers and what have you. But that's what you're getting, guys, on this thing. Like I say, I'm going to have a look through this just to see what bits move to do what, so that we don't get any sort of breakages that way. But we're going to show you the character next, guys, because he's just, he's like BumbleBee. He's phenomenal, but he's even got more sort of colours, because I can see him just off camera here. He looks absolutely wonderful. Okay, guys, so here he is. I mean, wow, he's superb. I'll absolutely love him, and he's a weighty boy. He's definitely a weighty chap, you know what I mean? But he's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A lot of moving parts in it, which I haven't looked at fully. As you can see, I normally like to do these things with you guys, so you're seeing it sort of as I'm seeing it. The head looks awfully small, but chances are it's probably about right for what he was, you know. I mean, his freaking chest girth's huge. He does have a light up feature. You can take the helmet off, and there's sort of battery compartment in the top of the helmet. So let's, I'll tell you what, we'll just, you've had a look at him from that angle. Let's take it up higher, take it in closer. Sorry, you're going to get some movement, guys, but that's just the way it works with me, I'm afraid. I ain't no professional, and I don't claim to be. So there we go, guys. I don't know how well that's... I'm going to stop this and try. So there you go, guys, a close up there of his eyes lit up. Yeah, it's, for me, it's hard to get at. I mean, if you've got long freaking fingernails, you're probably going to find it no problem at all, or maybe you can use freaking fingers off one of his hands to do it, because it's like inside of here, that little piece that's inside of there is what you can press in to make the light up feature work on his eyes. Now, obviously, it's a good gimmick, it works well. I just don't use them, you know, I don't think it, because the batteries are just going to run pretty damn quick. So, but it is nice that it's a feature there. It's the same as on BumbleBee. BumbleBee's got the same feature on his head. You press a certain thingy, his eyes will light up, you know, and it's a great feature to have. I love the idea of it, and especially for those that are doing sort of pictures and what have you. It can look really good, cool, but you can see it's just, there you go. See, I can go in, but it's very thingy. So while you're here, you haven't got a shit ton of motion on the head, you know, but you've got enough to get a little sort of few things to it. Not much at all, but yeah, that's the way it is. Bringing him closer, and you can see the details on it are just like really sort of beautiful. Yeah, that's some sort of really nice detail in there. I love the way it's sort of battle damaged slightly, and then he's got your things, the blue, the silver. I'm hoping this isn't too grainy, because it's looking quite grainy to me, which is unusual. It shouldn't be with this pretty camera, but let's hope it turns out better than what it's looking to me as I'm looking at it. Right, so there you go, guys. There's your, and it will zoom back out slightly. Oh, that's the wrong way. So there we go. Now, for his shoulder joints, this will move slightly. That itself moves slightly, but you can get literally almost full 90-degree that you can. You look at guns above 90-degree line of pivot on that, so that is damn good, you know. You cannot grumble with that. What I'm going to do, guys, just to see if it's anything to do with thing, I'm going to knock the TV off and see if that's what's causing a bit of grain in my vision here. There you go, guys. I've had to put it in the light box just because I wasn't happy with what it looked like. Now, maybe when I'm the thing, it would have worked out fine, but for me, the way I was looking at it, it looked quite sort of grainy to my eyes, and I didn't quite like that, you know. I like my videos to at least sort of look okay, even if the difference, you know, even if I'm not a pretty professional or that good at what I do, I'd still like it to sort of look half decent. So there you go. That's how far up you can get it to go, you know. That's a really sort of massive amount of motion, you know. You cannot complain at that at all, you know. Like you see, these things sort of move to get the chance to get all the way up there, and I mean, his arms go literally sort of down close to his side, which is cool. You got your, let's take it down a bit more to get the elbow joint in, and then lean him forward so he doesn't, because he wants to fall over now. That's a me bloody thing. So moving forward, it'll basically go all the way around, which means it would do the same backwards, obviously. Got a nice sort of single bend joint, which is a shame, but what else are you going to do with the size of the friggin' chunkiness of the arms of this thing, you know? I mean, you're not going to get a double bend, yeah, but that's good enough for most things, you know. You can also get his arm right sort of out so you can do a bicep pose, so that's sort of okay. You know, the range of motion you're getting on it, you know, tilting, tilt all the way around. You know, you just gotta maneuver your parts. Yeah, so you can't grumble at that. It's got pretty much thingy. I'm just trying to thingy the wrist, guys, and it doesn't look like the wrist has any motion in it at all, bar the slightest fraction. Yeah, I've got, like you see, the swivel at the bicep there, so that's cool. Yeah, you've got the same on both sides of the joints. It doesn't look like the chest piece. It will move, but I don't want to pull it, and I haven't read the instructions yet, guys, so I don't want to pull it off and find out it's not supposed to come off. So what I might do is I might have a quick sort of look at the instructions to find out just what it is, because it is supposed to be motion in the waist as well, as far as I can gather. So okay, so I've had a quick look at the instructions. It doesn't mention anything about the chest piece coming off at all, so I'm not going to attempt to remove it. Though it does surprise me that it does mention about actually articulation in the waist and in the back, which I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting when you look at the piece, but hey, it's got it. So let's take a little bit of a butcher's look at it. So you've got these bits here will move up and down. That's one of my lights just fell. You can see that will come and sort of move out the way. The same on this side, little thingy, and it'll sort of move slightly out the way, and then it's, so you got there, see, it's not huge, but hell, it's more than what I expected from the thing. Yeah, that you actually do have a bit of a twist, a bit of motion in the actual sort of waistline. But here's the one that really gets to us, is look at that. A range of motion, guys. That is pretty damn good. You know, have that much of a range of motion in its sort of back. Yeah, it's a little bit so you can see a bit more. That is pretty impressive, you know. It leans back a bit, but that lean forward there is just massive, especially as literally if you've got on a sort of a good surface. I mean, there I've let go of it and he's still managing to stay still upright, even though you've got him literally almost bent double. He's still managing to stay stood upright on his own. that is pretty damn friggin' good. Yeah, I'm impressed with that, guys. I really am. That is like really, really sort of shocking and really, really good. You know, that you've got that much articulation. So the way the actual hip wise, I mean, guys, look at that. That is impressive when you consider most sort of hot toys things can't even get that far out of the splits. Yeah, maybe some of the Iron Men possibly can get that sort of thingy. Again, you have sort of all these different bits on moving parts here to get them up and out of the way. Yeah, in order to get your hip motion. So we'll get this arm up, and look at that. Yeah, that is pretty sweet. Yeah, you've got the same at the back side here. This one will move to give you, I mean, that for movement back over, that is like really, really mint. Yeah, that is really mint. I don't, like I say, hot toys half the time can't even get that type of range of motion. Yes, he's obviously not going to stand up like one like that. You can't expect him to, but and look at that, double bend at the knee, so you can kick yourself on the back of the, well, in his back basically, because he can't reach his own head. But that is pretty damn friggin' impressive. Again, you know, it's really good. You do have sort of motion on these things, so it is a bit of toe tilt, though it is very, very tough. You know, and I don't want to sort of like damage it in any way. Yeah, but you do have a bit of articulation. See, so it is moving in and out. It's just very solid piece, which is what you want. You want it solid. Yeah, and it supposedly has got a, you can see it, a little bit of toe articulation. All of it though is solid, you know, absolutely solid, which is actually what you want more than anything else in these, is a solid piece which you can rely on to be sturdy, and hopefully when you've got it sort of posed up, it'll still remain in a good sturdy way, because the pieces are sort of like really sort of well made, well put together. I'm impressed again, guys. I mean, I was impressed with the BumbleBee. I thought the BumbleBee was great. Yeah, this one, Optimus Prime, is another really classic piece. There is more in this chain, I suppose you would call it, of figures, but all I was really interested in for a long time was getting Optimus to go with BumbleBee, you know, because I've always liked Optimus. He's a big character, he's a huge character, and I love BumbleBee. And I just thought to myself, you know, I've been after him, I've been looking and watching him on eBay and stuff like that, and he was going for silly money all the time, constantly going for silly money. And when Lee come up and say, look, yeah, I've got this for sale, I sort of said, well, you know, how much are you looking for him yet? Because I'd love to get a hold of him, but I'm not going to pay silly money for him. And when he came up with a price, I was like, ah, dude, I'll take him. And he did tell us of an issue that literally you probably wouldn't even be able to see. I mean, I only know the issue because he's told us it. And when you look at the parts, you can't really see it. It's only if you get a close look that you can actually see what he's on about. You know, and that's actually in one of the wrists. This one here, I believe. Just here, there's actually a slight crack in the actual thing there. Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be at the back as well. But for me, God, see, I wouldn't have even, if you hadn't mentioned it, I probably wouldn't even have noticed it, or I might have noticed it eventually, but it wouldn't have been something I would have probably just thought I'd fucking done it. But that's the type of honesty you're going to get with Lee. You know, he's a super guy. He's going to be honest as the day is long and tell you if he's knows of some sort of issue that he's got with a piece or something like that. He's going to let you know. He's going to tell you, you know, hey, look, this is what's wrong with it. And I mean, you know, I've bought from him a couple of times now, and I would probably buy from him again if something came up and it was at a decent price, you know, because he's good in that way. Yeah, he's a good bloke. So thank you, Lee. I'm double chuffed with this character. He is fucking phenomenal. He really is. He's a great piece. It's just you've now given us the headache of now finding out where the hell am I going to put the pair of them, because they won't go where he is, where Bumblebee is right now. So I'll show you. So like, as you can see, I've got Bumblebee up there in a sort of a squatted pose, like a depressed pose, because that's how I've been feeling lately, you know, with the gyms not being open and what have you. So I've sort of like, that's how I've sort of had him. And you can see, yeah, there's just a bit of gap there, but not a huge amount. So there's no way I'm going to get Optimus Prime and him on there. Yeah, and there's no way they're going to fit anywhere up on that sort of top sort of row. And that, yeah, I mean, even this guy shouldn't be there, you know, because that's me crow's spot. So even he shouldn't be there. And I just don't know where I'm going to freaking put the pair so that I can have both of these two on display together, because it's going to be absolutely just like great to have them both together. I haven't tried changing out the hands. Maybe that's where that thing eventually snapped from, was when he's tried to change out the hands at some point. So I haven't tried that to see how easy that is. Maybe I'll give that a go now, because I do want to have his sort of gun in his hand and see what that's like. So we'll have a look at that, guys, and see what and how easy they are to change out. There you go, guys. The hands themselves aren't too bad, but are a bit of a pain at the same time. I can understand now where the breakage can come from. See, I think you can just make that out there now. It's on that side and it's on the silver side underneath. I can understand where the breakage can come from, because when I try to put the hands back on the character, the peg itself moved and literally jumped underneath this thing here. So I can definitely understand where the breakage come from, especially with it still being plastic. You know, what they probably should have done with that would have, to thingy it, would have been to make it maybe some metal or something like that rather than a plastic. Yeah, because the amount of times the peg moved when I was trying to get the next one in was a bit crazy, and it did literally, like I say, jump underneath that plastic thingy bit. So I can understand where the breakages can come from dead easily now. You know, it's probably going to be a piece that a lot of people are going to have the same issue with. Wrist wise, you actually can get a lot more motion in these open palmed wrists than what you can with the fisted one. But like I say, it is still restricted by the fact that there isn't much room either side of it. But you do get a little bit of motion from it, you know. It's not loads, but it is a little bit of motion compared to what I was expecting or what I was shown before. But guys, you know, you can see it is possible to change the hands over. Like I say, it's not a massive thing, you just got to pull them off. And it's a case of, though, like I say, putting them back on. That's where that issue will have come from. You know, I understand that, Lee. That's where the issues will have come from, guys, because it literally was. Every time I tried to put the hand on, the peg itself inside, because the peg isn't in the hand, it's like on the wrist. The peg itself just kept on moving and going underneath that thingy, so I can understand definitely where that issue can arise from. But this, guys, man, it's just an absolutely beautiful figure. And if you can afford or can find a way of like literally running some wire through that to have his eyes lit up all the time, I think that would be a cool feature, because there it looks almost dead and dormant. But if you put the light feature on, which I don't know if I can get me thumb in there and get it on, there you can. Yeah, that looks a bit more wicked. There, he looks a bit more alive. It seems if you would have Bumblebee and have his lights on, you know, it would look a little bit more wicked. But guys, you know, this is a phenomenal piece. The details to it all, because I've never really shown you much in the way of the details on this character, but it's phenomenal, man. Absolutely gorgeous, you know. These are the type of things that you expect of likes of a Hot Toys. So for another company to be making stuff as good as this, and probably outshining Hot Toys in a lot of ways, you know, is phenomenal. Yeah, because it is just an absolutely gorgeous piece. And like I say, there is more out there. And I know you had them for sale. I don't know whether they still will be, because I would have thought by now somebody will have snapped his fingers off for the other guys that he had, because he had Bumblebee. I think it was something Blitzwing and something else for sale. like I say, by now I would expect they would have sold. You know, but if they haven't, hey, you can easily sort of check them out on the Facebook groups. Yeah, and see if he's still got any pieces, because he's always sort of selling off a few pieces to get other stuff for his collection. You know, he's got a damn good collection himself, going. So well, you just look him up, Scott Cox, see what he's got. And you can always trust to buy from him, and buy with safety and assurance that you're going to get a damn good piece, and you're going to get it at a good price. Anyway guys, there we're going. That's Optimus Prime, and I want you to have the headache of finding a place to put him with BumbleBee, but that's my issue, not yours. Maybe in a future video you'll see where I've got them together. But for now, this is the bearded nerdy oaf, and guys, I am out of here.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,